The Simpson Desert is a place that holds mystique for many four-wheel drivers. They either want to come here or they want to come back here. There's just so many different things to see and do out here. It's a challenging drive. It's one of those great four-wheel drive treks that's on the bucket list of many people. We've come into the desert a different way this time around. Where the hell are we, Ronnie?
Well, right at the moment we're at Lake Caroline, mate, just off the Hay River track. We started on the Hay, following it south, and we came out to this lake. Could do with a bit more water though.
Yeah, I thought we might get a bit of fishing in out here at the lake, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, well, they tell me they don't know how this lake floods. They don't think it comes off the Hay, which is really strange. But anyway, one of the mysteries of the Simpson Desert, mate.
Well, there's not much to do here. Let's get out of here, back on the track and down into the desert proper.
Yeah, okay, sounds good to me. On this leg of our journey, we headed south into the Simpson Desert by the Hay River track. But before we left Alice Springs, we'd caught up with Jol Fleming, who was the driving force and guide behind this route into the desert from Batton Hill, just south of the Plenty Highway, south to Poeppel Corner, and the more major east-west crossing of the Simpson Desert. The Hay River track is one of the most popular routes through the Simpson Desert, and it was pioneered by Jol Fleming, a legend here in the Northern Territory. We've caught up with him at the moment. How's it going, Joel?
Bloody great.
Hey, it's nearly 20 years since you pioneered that track up through the Hay.
Quick, didn't it? Yeah. Well, I went out there in '98, right?
Yep.
And did a little bit of roughing down the track, and we found it was too bloody rough to do what we wanted to do with Ford. So we did the Field River the following year, that year for them.
Yep.
And then we came back and did it in '02. Anyway, we got through fine on that. We GPS'd it that hard. We made it the main road.
Yeah.
For the Hay River track.
Yeah.
Bloody brilliant.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal. I mean, 500 cars last year or something like that.
Yeah, 430 something.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're on track for the same this year.
Yeah.
Even with the river running, you know,
Yep.
like the Air Creek.
Yep.
That's amazing, it really is.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's phenomenal. And you had a life-changing event about 19 or 20 years old.
I was 27 and coming to town. I was working at Orange Creek Station down the radio.
Yep.
And my girlfriend was driving because I did a couple of scotches. Anyway, she dropped a cigarette in the lap and rolled. I ran off the road and rolled the bloody car. I broke my neck, C56, and that put me sort of face down.
Yep.
I was in a passenger seat, I wasn't driving.
Yeah.
Down and then totally paralysed.
Yep.
That's what I felt anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, they dug me out of that and sent me to Adelaide, and the doctor next day, I said, can I be able to walk again, Doc? He says, I don't think so. I'm 27 years old, I'm big and strong and healthy. I'm going to have a really good go at making this work.
Yeah.
So I did. I worked my ass off in the bloody gym and driving cars and doing everything I could.
Yeah.
And came back to Alice, and I was helping the people at the Place Names Committee identify the places that the geologists and the explorers had identified in their exploits.
Yep. So how many times have you done the Hay? Like that.
I reckon about 15.
Okay. Well, this will be my third. The first one was you.
Yeah.
And then this one will be my third trip down it.
Oh, you'll love it.
We're looking forward to it, mate. So thanks very much. Thanks
More
for
than a pleasure, buddy.
catching up with you, mate.
When you're kitting your 4x4 up for Simpson Desert travel, a compulsory piece of equipment is a sand flag. Now, these aren't just any old flag. There's actually an Australian standard for these, which dictates how big the flag at the top is, and that they must be 3.5 metres off the ground. These are the same sort of things you see on mining vehicles and stuff around rural areas where they have mining, but they are compulsory for use in the Simpson Desert and recommended in other areas where you've got sand dunes to cross over. So the people coming up the opposite side of the dune can see you coming before you actually peak the top. We've gone with an Ironman's sand flag for our Ford Ranger. It's 3 metres tall, comes in 3 separate sections with fiberglass pole. It's got a quick release fitting on here, so you just snap it on and off as you need. You don't want to be driving around with that on all the time. Just click it on and off as you need to, and it'll whip around, make your car visible from the other side of the sand dunes.
Back on the Hay River, we headed south from Batton Hill to a rough sign that marked the tropic. The Tropic of Capricorn, the heat of the tropics, the cool of the temperate regions of Australia. The tropic marks the point as far south as the sun comes in summer. That's what it is, that's what it's all about. You'll find other places that are much more touristy. Here on the Hay River track, it's just a couple of star pickets with a hand-drawn sign. Dingo Well. It's about 70 kilometres south of Batton Hill, and it's the only water you'll find, or reliable water you'll find on the Hay River run. It's beautiful water. It's a haven for wildlife. It was set up back in about 2010 as part of a Dingo for Diversity program, and to save and to generate dingoes around this area and get rid of wildcats and things like that. Just looking at the birds that are coming in, it's got to be a success. The route continued south, chipping and changing from the dry spinifex covered dune country to the relatively well watered and scattered trees of the channels of the Hay. Just come down the Hay River track to the junction of the Madigan line. This is the route from Old Endado across the northern Simpson to the Hay River and on to Birdsville. This is one of the camps of Madigan marked by Owen Carrera back in 1994. This is Camp 15. We're going to follow the river down to Camp 16 and Madigan's Blaze Tree, which is probably one of the most visited spots in this part of the desert. Well, there's not much left of the blaze tree that Madigan marked here in 1939. It's almost fully closed over now. When I first saw it about 40 years ago, it was quite distinct. But yeah, this is his Camp 16 on the Hay River. From here, Madigan turned southeast and headed almost directly to Birdsville. But we'll continue down the Hay River track to Poeppel Corner.
Geez, Ronnie, it's sure nicer running with the dunes on a north-south track like this.
Yeah, sure is, mate. It's pretty easy in between the dunes, and this is a lovely little track at the moment. Improved a bit since we first got on it, when it was really twisty and winding in amongst all that erosion from the recent flood.
Yeah, it just shows how much water came down here after the cyclones up north. Really ploughed through.
Yeah, reached a fair way south too, got beyond Lake Caroline, and but yeah, so now it's we're still on the Hay. The trees have got a bit smaller, and we're just running between the dunes. It's a fabulous little drive.
Yeah, even though we're not theoretically crossing the Simpson Desert, this is a great way to experience the desert, and we're going to get the dunes when we turn east after Lake Poeppel, but this is a beautiful drive down through here.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. Those dunes, as we head along the QAA into Birdsville, they get a bit chopped up with the traffic, and I guess we'll see a bit of that. But anyway, we've just got to enjoy this, eh?
Yeah, it's hard to take, mate. I'm loving it.
I'd say we've probably got another couple of days of travel. We'll get down somewhere around Beachcomber today, and then into Poeppels tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan, mate. I'm sure there's a cold beer waiting for us in Birdsville too.
Geez, I hope we got one before then. As we get into the southern end of the Hay River track near Poeppel Corner, we start to get into the areas where there was a lot of oil and gas research done back in the 60s, right through until the 80s. This well here, Beachcomber, was done in 1988, one of the last wells to be sunk in the desert. They never struck any really rich source of oil, so it was all pulled out, and only a month after it was started, basically, they were on their way, leaving it.
We all know the MSA 4x4 Accessories products. Drop down fridge slides, straight pull fridge slides, and those amazing drawer systems they have. They're so versatile, and they can go in all sorts of different vehicles. We've seen them in a couple of double cab utes now, but this one's got a bespoke body on the back of it, something totally different. This is Matt's truck, and he's going to show us all about his new Hilux. So Matt, what's different about this? We're used to seeing it in the back of a ute where everything slides out of the back, the fridge, the drawers, everything. This is all coming off the side.
Yeah, in most of the utes you would have seen before of ours, they run the 1350 running out the back. This one's slightly different. I've decided to run a side drop slide on the other side, which we'll go through. This is the 1030 drawer. So they're still 530 wide in modules, but 1030 in length. So just allows us to use them slightly differently.
And they still slide all the way out. They're the same style of drawers?
Exactly the same, yeah, 100% extension.
Yep.
Still, obviously with your lights and everything like that. We just use a universal side wing kit and then just trimmed it to suit in the back of here.
Okay, and that can be fitted into any style of body you wanted to put on the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep,
yeah, you could have
fully
gone,
customisable.
Yep, you could have gone for a slightly shorter drawer than 930, but this one fits perfectly with the 1030s in there.
Okay. So this style of canopy doesn't really allow you to put a fridge on top of it. So you've got a fridge over the other side there, which we'll have a look at in a minute. But you can still store things on the top here. You've got some adjustable mounting points.
Yeah, I've done that obviously for this trip as well, just so I can tie stuff down to protect all my doors and everything as well. But yeah, it just makes life so much easier in this way.
That just shows the customisation you can do and making these things so versatile.
Yeah, I like this setup. It just gives me so much space.
And Matty, just run us through the old power panel there again. What do you got there?
Yeah, this is our new one, Matt. Comes in the box, it's all fully wired up, pre-wired. Comes with a backing panel as well, so when you've got it screwed in, anything behind's not going to hit all your switches and everything. You get 3 switch options. You've got your water compressor and your auxiliary. It does come with 2 separate switches as well, so you can add them in. You've got 2 12-volt outlets up on the top. They're angled up so that in the back of a ute, normally if you put it in straight, it will hit the back tailgate. So we angle it up so that it does miss for that section. Also comes with a double USB outlet in here. So it gives you plenty of power to charge your iPads and everything. And then also you've got your 12-volt monitor on there to be able to see where you're at.
Fantastic.
Yeah, anodized aluminium. They're a great bit of kit.
Everything you need. Good stuff. Let's have a look at this fridge slide.
Excellent.
So Matt, you've got the fridge in this one mounted lengthways across the back, so you've probably got more access to it.
I have, mate. Yeah, I've got the sideways drop slide on this one. I like it this way because obviously I've got the drawers, the 1030s coming that way. Allows me to still get a large fridge back to back up against my drawers. So I think using the space up in this type of body, this is excellent for it.
It still works the same way as your other MSA drop down slides?
Yeah, exactly the same. Handle down release the travel lock. Still got the thumb lock on the side, just pull the fridge, pull them all the way out, lower them down.
It's actually a more convenient way, I think, than the forward-facing slide, because you can really reach straight into there now.
Yeah, look, I really like this one because, as you say, it allows you the full access to your fridge on this way as well. But yeah, it really is an easy way of putting it this way and having the big fridge as well as the drawers.
So with this system now, how many different fridge slides are in your range?
Oh wow, well, drop slides we have the 5, we have the 40, 45, 50, 60 and 95, and then as I say, on the drop slides for the sideways, 40, 45, 50 and 60.
So no matter what sort of a setup you've got with your canopy or the back of your ute or your wagon, there's a drop slide for you.
Yeah mate, we can definitely accommodate that as well, yeah.
The barriers around here just protect it all and allow you to pack stuff around it?
It does, yeah. It allows it to get good airflow when you do pack up and around. Like when we're travelling, I'll put my table and everything up here. I stack my chairs on the side, and on that side I can stack things up, and still allows the fridge to get protected and get airflow.
Yeah, no worries about things blocking the airflow in the fridge.
Nothing at all, no.
Good stuff. Once again, all the MSA products, versatile, one for everyone.
As we got closer to the old oil and gas exploration areas, the track changed from a pair of wheel marks to a formed road and back to a sand track again. We've just arrived at the QAA line, part of the east-west crossing route from Burrsville to Mount Dare. The Hay River track is all the way north of us now. Just before we head to Burrsville though, we're going to drop down to Poeppel's Corner, which is the meeting point of the borders of South Australia, Queensland and the Northern Territory. Let's do it. Back in 1880, Augustus Poeppel was tasked with the job of marking the Queensland-South Australian border. He arrived here and put this post up to mark the corner post of Queensland, South Australia and the Northern Territory. In fact, he actually put it out in the lake, and Larry Wells' 2IC came along with a much more accurate chain and repositioned it here. But it's a spot where people love to come, who come across the Simpson Desert on the famous French line, which is just south of here, and they come up to this historic spot. You don't see this every day. In fact, you don't see it on every crossing of the Simpson either. Air Creek in flood on the eastern margins of the Simpson Desert. The water came down about 6-8 weeks ago, and this barrier is still in place. There's a detour about 20 kilometres north of here. You've got to go up to get across this stream, and then we're back onto this track again. It's a magic sight though. All this verdancy around the place has brought life into the desert. Lots of birds flitting around, just fantastic. So if you ever have the opportunity to see this creek with water in it, take it, it's fantastic. Away from where the most recent flood had reached, the country was dry as the proverbial chip.
Connie, Big Red, we've made it, mate.
Yep, fantastic place to celebrate your journey, either across the desert or your starting trip. It's a great place to start and finish.
Yeah, mate.
Fantastic.
There's plenty of people up here, all earning their badge of honour, saying they've made it up Big Red.
Yep. Yep.
We've all made it up here.
Yeah, my word. Named by Dennis Bartel back in the 1970s, mate. It's became a place of pilgrimage for a lot of four-wheel drivers.
Yeah, even people that don't do a desert crossing, they'll come out of here from Birdsville just to say they've come up here, watch the sunset, watch the colours change. It is a magnificent place up here.
Yeah.
It's really somewhere everyone should get to this place one time in their life.
Yep, fantastic, fantastic. Highly recommended. So what are we going to do now, mate?
Mate, there's only one thing left to do. Birdsville's just over that way. We're going to jump in the trucks and go to have a cold beer.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
Cheers.